Run from anything that stimulates youthful lusts. Instead, pursue righteous living, faithfulness, love, and peace. Enjoy the companionship of those who call on the Lord with pure hearts. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2.
As you get to the next level, you'll need to know how to get by any defender that stands in your way. Especially since the higher you go, the more aggressive and physical the defense becomes. So in other words, the moves that used to work on lower level people might not always work on the higher competition that's going to come. So that's why in today's video, I'll be giving you moves as well as drills to help you score on any defender, no matter the competition level. Now, this video is going to be broken up into 3 sections: finishing, mid-range, and threes. And with each section, I'll be giving you moves and drills to help you score on any defender. But before we get into that, we have to take a look at these 4 moves that can take your game to the next level. So without further ado, let's go. Now, the first move that we're going to be looking at is a move that's used all across the NBA. And this move is what I like to call the float dribble. Taking a look back, we see that SGA uses the float dribble to set his defender up for his next move, leading to an easy snatchback midi.
Gives that guy a map.
Now, the float dribble itself is literally just taking a dribble and letting the ball float in your hand. Pretty self-explanatory, I guess. This move is extremely versatile and can set you up for multiple different moves. So if you take any move from this video, make sure it's this one. Now, the next move that we're going to be looking at is the AI cross. And before you ask, no, that is not my goat being crossed up. That's AI, I promise. Now, the good thing about the AI cross is that it's literally just a counter to the float dribble, which just goes to show how versatile the float dribble really is. So what you want to do is float dribble one way and then quickly cross the other direction. And that's pretty much it. To set this move up, I would recommend using a float dribble into a blow by for the first couple times, and then once they start biting on the blow by, that's when you use the crossover. Now, this next move is one that SGA uses a lot, and that's called a hip swivel. Essentially, the hip swivel is just a float dribble where you shift your hips one way and then shift it back to the direction you're driving. Now, although this move sounds simple, this might be one of the shiftiest moves on this list. So make sure you add this move to your bag so you can be breaking ankles just like big bro Kenny. And for the last move we're going to be looking at, let's talk about the delayed tween. The delayed tween is just a between the legs, but you wait until the ball hits your other hand to explode. Hey, yo! Now, the reason this move works so well is because the defender expects you to explode as soon as you put the ball between your legs. But since you're waiting till it hits your hand, that freezes the defender up, leaving an easy blow by. Now that we got the moves to get by our defender, let's look at some moves that can help us score on our defender, starting with finishing. Now, finishing is important because most shots in the NBA are actually taken within the paint, with threes being a close second. So in other words, if you want to be an elite guard or just an elite basketball player in general, you have to know how to finish. So now that we got that out of the way, let's look at some moves that help you finish on any defender that stands in front of you. Now, the first move we're going to be looking at is one James Harden likes to use a lot, and I call it the unexpected finish. Now, this move right here is going to work 9 times out of 10 because the defender expects you to lay the ball up at the same speed you drove in. But when you switch up your timing, it messes up their timing to get the block, which means you get more wide open layups. For these, make sure you're really exaggerating that change of pace, because if you're not, then that's an easy way to get the ball sent right back to your face. For these, let's go 5 to 7 makes each side, making sure we're challenging ourselves as much as possible. The next move we're going to take a look at is one I think everybody should have in their bag, and that's the step through. Before all the internet reps run to my comments, no, this is not a travel. This is legal on all levels. You can do this from elementary school all the way to the NBA. So now that I got that out the way, the step through is pretty much when you come to a full stop, then take a step with the other foot and follow through to the... You know what, bro? It's like impossible explaining this move. I'm just trying to explain it for like 10 minutes. So just watch this clip and hopefully you understand. The next move we're going to take a look at will greatly decrease your chance of getting blocked. And that's high off the glass finish.
Oh, hell no, man. What the man?
Now, this move is pretty self-explanatory. All you want to do is drive in and try to finish as high off the glass as possible. Now, I will say, this move is harder than it looks. But when you really get it down, it makes it way easier to score in the paint. The reason this works so well is because it takes the ball out of the range of all the blockers. So if you do this move properly, it'll greatly increase your chance of not being blocked. Now, this last move is a personal favorite, and is what I like to call the fly-by finish. Taking a look back, we see that Ja gets by the first defender with ease, but there's a second defender in the paint trying to draw a charge. So he decides to jump around the defender and lay the ball up with that exaggerated swagger of a black teen. This move will make you look so athletic while also confusing the defender because they'll try to block you straight up. So when you jump around them, it makes it easier for you to finish. And when I say easy, I mean easy for you to get a wide open layup because this move is not easy at all. But either way, we'll still do 5 reps each side. And make sure you're pushing yourself so you can get the maximum potential out of each rep. Now that we talked about finishing, let's take a look at mid-range. I know that this is kind of becoming a lost area of the game where a lot of people like to shoot threes now instead of actually shooting mid-ranges, but having a good mid-range is honestly a part of being a good basketball player. So without further ado, let's look at some moves to help you score in the mid-range area. Now, the first move we're going to look at is one that SGA uses pretty much every game, and that's the bump step back. The reason this move is so useful is because the contact itself already creates space. So when you add a step back, you get even more space. And that'll leave you open like a 7-11 at midnight. Well, anyway, you get the point. This move gives you mad space. We'll go 5 to 7 makes each side. Now, the next move we're going to take a look at is one that I like to use all the time to create separation, and that's the in and out push. Now, the move itself is quite simple. All you want to do is an in and out while pushing the ball outwards and taking a 1-2 step to follow the ball. And after you do that, just get into your shot. This shot, as I already said, gives you a crazy amount of space to get your shot off, as well as it could lose the defender and possibly break some ankles. You know what I'm saying? Now, the next move we're going to talk about is one that's simple but still very effective, and that's the unexpected pull. Now, since this move is already mad simple, I won't tell you how to do it, but I will tell you what to look for. A good indicator telling you to shoot the ball is when they open their hips to start running. This means that they won't be able to comfortably jump into a contest, which leaves you in the air for an open shot. Now, for the last move, we're going to take a look at the push cross. Now, the push cross is pretty much just an upgraded in and out push, and that's because if used properly, you can cut your defender off and still create space to get into your shot. This move has the same exact footwork as the in and out push, just do it the opposite way when you cross. And of course, we'll go 5 to 7 makes each side to cap this drill off. Finally, let's take a look at shooting threes. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm gonna keep it a full $150. I do not shoot too many threes. Actually, don't even like threes like that. However, I do play with a lot of 3-point shooters, and I do study some 3-point shooters games. So today I'm gonna bring y'all some moves that work for them. So I guess without further ado, let's look at threes, bro. Come on. Now, the first move we're gonna look at is simple but very effective, and that's the pump fake sidestep jump shot. Now, this move works because after you get the defender on the pump fake, you add the sidestep to get yourself extra separation, just so it makes it easier to get into that shot. We'll go 5 to 7 makes each side for this one, and make sure you get that footwork down pat because I'm telling you, it's harder than you think. The next move we're gonna work on is a misdirection between the legs into a step back. Now, I know that sounded like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, but trust me, this move is cold and it will get you separation for your 3. And on top of that, the counter is crazy. So I mean, honestly, it's a win-win. Just make sure you have enough leg strength to actually do this move, because if you don't, you're gonna airball. Now, the last move we're gonna take a look at is a hezzy pull. Now, everybody knows what the hezzy pull is, and that's just because it's such a good move to get a wide open shot. 9 times out of 10, if you do the move correctly, it'll freeze your defender, making them think you're driving in when you're really just gonna shoot the shot. Well, now you know how to destroy any defender that stands in your way. But if you want to know how to score on taller defenders, then click this video right here. And if y'all want to help support my gaming channel, then click the link in the description or search up Game Time Ken on YouTube. Other than that, I love y'all, God loves y'all, and have a beautiful and amazing day. Peace.